Hey, Joshua Jessup here, and welcome to the channel, Street Creds, and today it's time to give this puppy an oil change. It has like year-old oil in it, so it's due. Gotta take off the front bumper here and jack it up, and we're gonna get started on it. All right, so for my car, I use this Lon Phillips. Take off the two bolts that are holding the front bumper on. I don't have any in the fender lines. I took those ones off, I left them off. I have a quick release button set up on the sides where my fenders are. So just the two in there I gotta worry about. So I'll take those off for you guys right now. All right. One. All right, both bolts are out. Keep these somewhere you will not forget about them, because that will suck if you lose them. I'm keeping them right there in the cowl. Keep a lot of tools up in my cowl. It is what it is. Somewhere obvious to see. Push one button. Second one. Alright, disconnect the fog lights. Pull off the block-in heater off its little cap area. Move the bumper somewhere out of your space, and now you're good to jack the car up. Always make sure your jack is all the way to the right, twisted. That means you're good to pump up. All right. Frick. It's too low. I need to get my other jack. All right, got the low jack. Should be good to go now. See, my car's just so low. I gotta get two jacks to get my car up in the air where I need to be. I gotta get the low jack just to get started, which just gets it high enough to go in the lowest setting of the actual jacks that I have it sit on. And then I gotta get the big red jack to jack it up a second time and then raise up the level on the jack stand so I can actually creep underneath my car. Otherwise I'm just sitting there just chest to bottom of my car and I can't move or do anything. So the perks and fun joys of having a low to the ground car. Always make sure your parking brake's on before you start doing this, because otherwise you'll just keep rolling backwards and crash into something if you're not being careful. All right. Like I said, lowest possible setting. Get it nice and centered. and then off to the other side. Oh, tight squeeze. Okay, perfect. Now that we got both jacks underneath the front, let's lower it and then move to the rear. Okay, one thing about my car is if I lift it up with the low jack and I go to like take it down, it just drops. The air compression in it is not the best for some reason. So you'll see what I mean. I'll go slow, always go slow. Wait till it's just about to release. And there we go, we're on. Boom, just like that. But this will slam your car to the ground. This jack is merciless. It does not care about your car. All right, time to lift up the back. It's a bit of a tight squeeze back here, so I can't bring the camera this close. I need both hands to work on this. The jack point is pretty far down in there, so I had to pre-jack it up a little ways, just so I'm not sitting there smashing my front back bumper, my bad. So I'm not sitting there smashing my back bumper with the jack. As you can see, all I'm doing is smacking it. This really sucks sometimes. Almost there though. There we go. And that's as far as it'll go. Time to get those back jacks into place. All right. Since the rear is able to be lifted a lot higher than the front is, I do have it sitting close to the highest setting right there. And then I'll have to go back up to the front and rejack the front up with the big red and then set the front jacks up higher so then I can finally get started on this oil change. Boom. Touchdown. All right. Two arms are better than one. Yeah, much better height. I can definitely go underneath there now. Time to lift these jacks up now. Okay, good to go. Gonna drop it down for the second time. This jack lets go a lot nicer, so I don't have to worry about it just slamming down. There we go. Let's get started on this oil change. All right, so before you start draining it, make sure you take off the oil cap. I like to keep it right there in my rad cover. Got that nice Skunk 2 one, if you can see that. Silver Skunk 2. Not too bad. So, the tools you'll need, or the material you'll need for the job is, for one, make sure you got yourself a new filter and a crush washer for your oil drain plug. Get yourself the oil you need. This is not specific. I got mine at work. I work for Honda at the dealership there as a lube and tire technician. I just grabbed a couple empty bottles and put synthetic 5W30 in there. And then you're gonna want brake clean and just any kind of shop rag that's laying around, and a 17 wrench and your little drain to catch everything. You want everything to go and catch everything in there. And once you're done, pour it back into your empty bottles, and then you can dispose of it that way. And a creeper, if not, you got an army crawl underneath there, but a creeper definitely helps. All right, now it's time for the fun part. Get your 17, find your drain plug, get it on there, and if you have the space to, try and crack it loose. There we go. Hope I have this lined up all right. Spin it. Hopefully you can get lucky. I really don't want this to go all over the floor. One more adjustment. There you go. Oh, beauty. Just like that. And we got... Oh, that is disgusting. That is so black. That's what year-old oil looks like when you don't go for an oil change. I would have taken it for an oil change if it wasn't taken apart, but this thing was out of commission. It was a project car. All right, hopefully you could be more fortunate than I was. I got a little spill. I had to push it as far to the side as I could so that I can still creep underneath here to take a look underneath. And these streams don't like to just fall straight. Sometimes they like to bend a little bit, and it happened to just hit the outside right there and spill a little bit. And also, see, look at the wind just affecting that. The wind is just blowing my stream everywhere. So I'm gonna try and keep this more to the middle. But if you don't catch your drain plug soon enough, then you gotta throw on some gloves and go fishing. Ugh, there we are. Now what you're gonna wanna do is, if it hasn't fallen off already, take the old crush washer off, take your brake clean the bolt off as good as you can, put the new crush washer on, and then put it back in and tighten it up. Ooh. All right, once you got brake cleaned off, you got the new crush washer on there, go ahead, put it back in. Then grab your 17, tighten it up as much as you can. Which, when you're underneath, you don't exactly get the best leverage. After you got it on there, take your brake clean. Do not get this stuff in your eyes, it will blind you. Spray it off to get that loose, drippy oil. Take your rag. I don't advise doing this with one hand, it is a pain. Wipe it off. And you're good to go. Your next step is to locate your oil filter, and there it is. Really pain to reach it. You might have to grab oil filter pliers, but fortunately for me, I can hand twist mine. Get it so it's just loose, so you know that when you start spinning it, that it'll come off easy. Try and get whatever you're using to catch your oil underneath where you think it'll drop. On an 8th gen Civic, it kind of just drops out of here, which is going to cause a lot of a mess for me. So that's why we have brake clean, to clean up your oil spills. So fun. Let's get right into it. Another thing, I already took the plastic off, but if you do get a oil filter with plastic, never poke it through the hole. You do not want any debris to go in the filter area. Always try and rip it or tear it from on the top side here and peel it down. Okay, kind of a tricky situation here. Can't really find a good angle to get at to film because it is just that tight, but spray where your oil filter was with brake clean. Spray where it was leaking from, which I'll have to do later because I just don't have the space. Like I said, I am chest to the bottom of my vehicle here. There is no such thing as wiggle room. That is all I have. Then, if I can get to it, take your rag, switch hands so you guys can see. Dry off and wipe away the area. What you want to do is gunk and dry it up. Oil gets around the edges where the gasket seats. Wipe that clean as you can, like that, so it's nice and shiny again. Then when you put the new oil filter on, it's on there for good. Just try and wipe everywhere where oil may have gone to, which in this case is all over the bottom frame. So that's real fun. I love the design of these. Not. Once you got that done, switch hands again, playing juggle over here. Take your new oil filter, and because it is Honda, and Honda is just better, you don't have to put lubricant on it. You can just put it on as is. It's already pre-lubricated. That's why it comes in that full plastic wrap, just to keep it airtight. Get on there as nice and tightly as you can. I mean nice and tight because you do not want this to start leaking oil. It will do that, and then you'll have a mess to come back to. And you can always tell when you go take it off and you got oil built up around on the filter. That's how you know that whoever did the oil change last, if it was you or whoever you brought it to, did not tighten it up enough. Now you know. All right, now it's time to fill it back up with oil. My SI takes 4.4 liters. So I'll try and estimate that. I have about 4.78 liters, so 5 liters in total. So yeah, I'll try and portion out the best I can. I'll start off with my big jug. It is getting a little colder outside. It's been quite some time. The temperature dropped a little bit faster than I wanted it to. Hopefully get this without spilling. Okay, there's all of that one. And then 0.5, so. I'm going to pour roughly 1/2 to 3/4 of this next bottle in, and then we should be good. I'll test it with the dipstick and see where my oil levels are at. Add more if I need to. You do not want to add too much in, because otherwise when your oil starts to move around in your engine, you can actually risk having oil come out of your gaskets, and that's not good. You don't want that. Never have too much oil in there, because then guess what you gotta do? Then you gotta go underneath the vehicle and you gotta pop the drain plug off quick, let it drip out for about 5 seconds, and put the drain plug back in. And then you gotta top off the oil if you lost too much. Hopefully you lost just the right amount, and then you can test the dipstick and you should be in the safe zone again. So that should be about right. I left about just under half. It's probably a little shy, I'm not quite too sure. But I'd say 1/2 is good. That's about 4.4, 4.5 liters right there, which is A-okay with me. Go ahead, put your cap back on. Make sure it's nice and tight, obviously. And then what I like to do, start the car up, and I'll circulate the oil inside of the engine. And it's been a while since this thing had fresh, clean oil in it, so hopefully it runs a lot smoother. And that's also why I have it up to the trickle charger, so that when I do come to start it, it hopefully starts a little better. If not, I do have clean flow, clean start. I have to spray some of that into my intake, and then hopefully that'll help kickstart it. We'll give it a shot. Get the key in. Since I'm on jack stands, always make sure you're in neutral. If you have yourself in gear, you pop the clutch or whatever the case may be when you let go, and you jerk forward, you're probably gonna jerk yourself right off your jack stands, and you're gonna destroy your car. Or yourself. And that's gonna be expensive, and it's gonna suck. Sit there, prime the fuel pump, give it a go. Looks like I'll have to use some clean start in the intake. It's not wanting to fire up, so I'll put some in and see how it works. Don't mind the beeping, it's just because I have the door open. So you're gonna take the second hose off. Get your clean start. If you have some or if you need some, I do. Spray it in the intake. Then go start. Okay. Clean starts in. Yeah! I tell you, it's all about that clean start. Now you don't want to let it run for too long. Just enough that it cycles through that oil, gets it moving around, and you're all good. Start. Turn the car off. My car won't actually turn off until I close the door. Just how it is. There we go. Time to go check the oil. Okay. Reconnect this hose before I forget. Don't necessarily want to run with one hose missing off your intake. It's a pain to get back on there again. Taking it off is kind of the easy part. It's a real tight fit. Okay. And typically, you want to let it sit for a couple a minute, just like 1 minute or 2 minutes. That allows the oil to drop back down on the dipstick so you can get a more accurate reading, because if you check right away, the oil's still kind of flowing around in there. It's not quite settled down, so you're not going to get the best reading. It might show up a little shorter, and then if you go to add more oil into it and then you test it again later, you might have too much in it. So that's my advice to you guys. Pop it off. Give it a wipe down first, put it back in, and then take a look and see what you got. Make sure it's all the way down in there, all the way down. Pull it up, find some light, and we're looking good. I'm not sure if I can be able to show you guys. Focus on it. Almost there. 1 second. Everything's shaking around. Close enough. Okay, you can kind of see where that golden line is right there. It's sitting right about half at my dipstick. That's where you want it to be. So we're good. Nice, clean. Much better than it was when I took it out, which was all black, if you guys remember that. You don't want that black stuff. It's bad. You want that nice golden stuff. That's clean oil. If it gets all gunky, starts getting thick, you don't want that. Now you're good. That's how you do an oil change. Real fun stuff. Well, thank you guys for watching me do an oil change of my 2010 Civic Si. You have watched Street Creds, and I'm going to leave it up on the jack stands because I do have a light coolant leak somewhere, and I think it's coming from the back of my block around the valve cover / upper coolant housing area. Just in back here, I can't quite see it from the engine bay on the top side, so I have to go underneath. Couldn't quite see it that well either, so what I'll have to do in another video is I'll have to let it run for about 10 minutes just to get the car nice and warmed up, and then go underneath there again and see if I see where it's leaking from, and then I can address the situation. What it could be, or what I'm hoping that it is just when I did fix my upper coolant housing, that it's just coolant that got into a spot and pulled up and it just had to burn through it, because that's all that it was before. So all it really needs is like an engine bay clean, and I'll do that once it's road ready and insured, which is coming up soon. The streets are drying off. We just had a snowfall a couple days ago, so we got like a big dump of snow, but once the streets are fully cleaned off again and the rocks are hopefully gone, I'll get this guy on the road again and it'll be fun, and I'll do a lot of videos for you guys and try and make some fun content, show off my car homies, go on like cruises with them again, or interview them and take a look at what their cars are like, and it'll be fun. I'm going to do a lot with this channel, and I hope you guys follow along, and I hope I get more followers and subscribers. And yeah, street creds, bro. Street creds. Gotta get yourself some street creds. Also, on another thing, I know I kind of ended the video kind of going back. I'll do that sometimes. I can edit it out or just add whatever I want in. Is what it is. Give me some, ideas for videos that you guys want to see, because I want to put out what you guys want to watch. And I don't want to be like every other YouTuber and do like what they do, but I kind of want to like find stuff that I can do, so that would be more like driving content. So if you guys want to see like polls or something, or rolls against my friends, I can do like races like that just on the highway, or just car meets that we do, because I'm going to be taking over that and doing a lot of car meets and trying to put together a crew for street creds. And I'll interview my friends and show off their cars, their mods, their lists that they have, and how long they've had the car, what got them in the car scene, just questions like that. There are a couple of car events that I want to go to, like street wheelers or driven. If any of you guys have heard of that, I will be trying to go to those. Just plan it off when I have work, and hopefully get a crew out there. We'll drive down there together, spend the weekend or wherever it is, video the event, post that on YouTube. I do want to also make merchandise. I want to get some stickers made. Hopefully in the future I want to get some t-shirts made. Get a better logo for my YouTube channel and for my Instagram page at Street Creds Official. And that's all I can really say for right now. It's a pretty new channel, so like, comment, subscribe, and join me on this awesome journey of being a YouTuber. Thank you.